Watches and Wonders 2023 has finally concluded. I've selected some pieces that I definitely found intriguing and wanted to share them with you guys in a tier system that is very similar to what Nico from Pride and Opinion does. And quick wristwatch check before we get started. Today I am wearing my PAM 112. Little twist is that a lot of the pieces, or I should say majority of the pieces that I have selected here are something that I have interest in. These are pieces that I definitely have a lot of liking towards. I've just based them on my own personal takes. So without further ado, let's take a look at these grading systems together. In terms of the categories, we start with tier A, which is the drool tier, near to the point of unaffordable, at least for me. Second tier here is shut up and take my money. Very simple. The moment I laid my eyes on these pieces, I knew I wanted it right away. Or actually, I should say, now that I've given it some time, initially I might not have liked the pieces so much so, but I've realized that, it has grown on me. The third tier here is the let's add to collection. What this means is this is a piece that you could definitely add into your watch collection as part of your rotation. It's gonna perform well in terms of giving you wrist time, and it's gonna have a lot of presence, on your wrist as well as in your collection. And then the fourth tier here is the could add to collection. Difference is that, with these pieces, it may join your collection, but it's not gonna be seeing too much wrist time. Even with that being said, these are pieces that have a strong, case to make for in terms of being like a very strong piece, in terms of being a very good watch in general. And it's gonna give you a certain, ooh la la in terms of the, having its presence within, your collection, so to say. And when other, watch lovers, fans, they take a look at your mix, they would understand why you would have it in your collection. And then last but not least, I got cash to burn, not necessarily because they're bad watches, but more so I think there are options available when you're looking within this tier. So without further ado, let's get started with the first one. The first one that I had on the list here is gonna be from Alange Sohne, and this is the Odysseus chronograph, an extremely high-end watch. If I were to be able to select one sports watch that I should be one and done with, this definitely makes a strong case for it. This is an update, coming with the chronograph. Price-wise, even on the official Alange Sohne website, it is, listed as to be determined. So yeah, it's definitely gonna be up there in terms of the price ranges. Something, it's definitely a grail watch for me, without any hesitation. On number two, one of the pieces that I saw and that definitely I was very intrigued in, this is coming from JLC. Dual Face Tourbillon Reverso, another high-end watchmaker. JLC, they're referred to as the watchmaker's watchmaker, as that ultimate dress piece. Definitely one of those heirloom pieces that you can, pass down, from generation to generation. And then the third piece that I wanted to talk to you guys about, Tudor Black Bay 41 with the original maroon, or I should say the red, the bezel. Again, it goes back into the heritage in terms of what the watch is. And the moment I saw this definitely fell into my shut up and take my money category. Because for one, I really truly enjoyed the first edition of the Black Bay that came out, with the smiley face. It's always been a piece that I've had a liking to, just, never really had the chance to add it into my collection. Knowing that this piece is now coming in, with an update to the movement and, with the presentation of this Jubilee-ish bracelet, coming in as an option with the T-Fit class, yeah, I'm definitely liking it. And then let's move into, the third category, the IWC Engineer, the revival of the great one. The general feedback, the consensus has been great all across the board in terms of the design, what it represents. Now, the drawback here from everyone definitely is that, the price of this was very, surprising to say the least. The watch came in at 12,000 Swiss francs, which is about what, 13,000-ish US dollars. I'm not saying I'm a fan of the pricing, but again, I can't understand it. Not that I can afford it anytime soon, with ease, but definitely goes into the shut up and take my money category for me. And it is just something that I am very, very, very happy that it is back. Now, moving on. One of those pieces that, is unique. Again, not that I can afford it anytime soon or anything, but it is the Cartier Tank Louis. Price is definitely high, so it is not a case for shut up and take my money category. But with that being said, I'm a huge fan of Cartier. I definitely want to take a look at it in person and try it on. I've seen numerous people wearing this, and I've always been a fan of this. The moment I saw these two color renditions come out, with a third version, the ones that came out in squares as well being available too. But these two colorways were the ones that I was definitely leaning towards, and definitely goes into the second tier for me. Moving on, let's go back into Tudor. And this is gonna be the Black Bay 54. I'm actually gonna put this into the let's add to collection, just because I know this is a piece that's gonna get a lot of wrist time, you know, when it goes and sits in your collection. However, for me, I see a lot of the 58 replication on this, and of course, you know, by nature it is a smaller rendition of the 58. I mean, nothing against it, but it wasn't just a piece that, you know, I was like, ooh, overing, you know, thinking that this is a must-get piece for me. And again, if anything, you know, that piece for me was the, you know, I guess the re-release, the update to the original Black Bay 41. With the 54, again, no complaints. I'm sure this is a piece, once I have a look at it in person, you know, I could have second thoughts about it in terms of whether this is a, yeah, definitely a piece I need to get. But in the moment, at least for now, for me, this is more as a, you know, a great addition to me, you know, your personal watch collection, but not so much so like, you know, hey, I need to go out and get this right away. Now, in the similar boat, this might be controversial, I get it, is the Rolex Explorer. The re-release of the Rolex Explorer in the 40, just an interesting move from Rolex in general, I guess. You know, they got rid of the 39, came out with the 36, and then, you know, shortly after they're coming up, you know, with this 40 millimeters, which means there's gonna be two options available in terms of the Explorer, the 36 as well as the 40. A very, very interesting move from them. Again, I think it's a great piece, you know, without a doubt. An Explorer is one of the true, you know, just get one, you know, it can do everything kind of a watch, and I understand definitely why this is going to be popular, you know, from a lot of the watch collectors. And this definitely is a strong case, but not something that I'm going to go out and try to get right away. One interesting watch that I saw definitely from the releases this year was from Oris, and that was for the Kermit. A very unique case, unique colorway. This is a titanium watch, just an updated version of the watch that was released last year, or was it the year before? I do definitely see why this is gonna, you know, cause some division in terms of like, you know, hey, I like this, you know, I'm not a fan. But it's a very fun watch that I think you can definitely keep, you know, as like an occasional rotation piece, you know, in your collection. Just the overall aspect of the watch itself, you know, what this is going for, I like it. I think Oris is always, you know, creative in terms of their releases. And, you know, just coming out with a watch that, you know, where you're taking a watch that is really significant in the watch world, you know, the Kermit. Really interesting move from them. A unique piece definitely to say nonetheless. I definitely want to put this as the could add to collection piece. This seems to have flown under the radar a lot for most of the people, and that is the Tag Heuer Carrera Date, which comes in these 4 different colorway segments, and it comes in the 36 millimeter. Price is rather affordable, a little over the $3,500 range. And please don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that, you know, $3,500 is a small amount of money, but you know, this is definitely a piece that could be considered to be on a more affordable scale if we take a look at all the range of watches that we have been, you know, discussing today. 4 pieces that actually, to be honest with you, reminds me a lot of, I'm sure I'm not the only one, everyone else is thinking the same thing. Tag's version, their rendition of the OP from Rolex. Colorways are very unique. I'm leaning a lot towards this silver gold, you know, accent dial, as well as the you know, olive green guy right here as well. Definitely do like these. Fun colorways, more so on an affordable range. Seems like, again, it has flown under the radar for most of the people. But yeah, I definitely want to check this out in person. And then next, speaking of Rolex, let's add our friend right to the top, to the drill section, and that is the GMT Master 2, coming in the full gold edition. Just a very classic watch. It's far from stealth wealth. This is the piece that you definitely want to flaunt. This watch here just, you know, screams, hey, get me. I mean, yeah, good luck getting this. The wait list is gonna be ridiculous, first of all. And of course, with that being said, you know, this is definitely a piece, you know, that's gonna stand out no matter where you go. But yeah, the moment I laid my eyes on this, I was like, I'm definitely a fan. I'm definitely a fan of this. But yeah, definitely a banger from Rolex this year. And then let's, you know, talk about some cash to burn, I guess, pieces. One that I definitely want to talk about is the Chopard Alpine, specifically this model right here, the 41 XPS. Priced very aggressively, very aggressively at slightly over $22,000. Until the Engineer came out, you know, or I should say came back this year, you know, a lot of people were referring to Alpine Eagle as the, you know, the piece that was kind of like, you know, taking over that spot that engineer once used to, fill. But with this guy right here, specifically this here, knowing that, this is priced a little over $22,000 because of the gold that it contains in the movement. It's a unique piece, with a beautiful dial, that salmon dial. But for the price range, I mean, you get so many options now, knowing that, the engineer itself is back. Not saying this is a terrible watch, but again, it's more so of a, if you got the cash to burn, definitely get it. And then while we're talking about the Alpine Eagle, there is another Alpine Eagle that I wanted to throw into the mix, Cadence 8HF. Also coming in at a very aggressive price of slightly over $20,000. A unique piece, knowing that this is titanium and also that the movement is the high beam movement, and this costs, more than what, the price of the IWC Engineer costs. This is definitely a piece that you want to consider as, hey, I got cash to burn. If you like it, I get it, go for it. This is gonna be the last piece that I, saw this year from Watches and Wonders 2023, which grabbed my attention and was automatically a jewel piece, and that is from AP. All gold, 37 millimeters, royal oak with that beautiful turquoise dial. The moment I saw this, I knew right away, this is just one beautiful watch. Definitely a grail watch, with the price being a little over $60,000. 37 millimeters is considered to be on the smaller size, but just look at this dial, that gold tone. I mean, this is definitely one of those watches that, if you have in your collection, you have in your collection, and it's just considered to be a banger of a watch. And then moving in, a very controversial watch, and that is the Rolex Bubble. I was thinking about this a lot, the moment when I first saw this watch at first, I definitely thought of this watch as a, what is this? I don't understand. But the more that I started looking at this watch, and then the more I thought about it, I started seeing like the merit in this, in terms of this being a very different, a unique piece coming from Rolex. I know it is controversial in terms of the design. Just your first impressions are going to be, this looks busy, what is this? But I could definitely see this piece as being that fun piece that, when you have, you're actually really going to smile about it every time you see this in your watch box and every time you put it on your wrist. And I know this is a watch that I'm truly going to enjoy, if I'm even able to get this, to begin with. And you know what? I'm definitely gonna add this into the piece that I'm gonna try to get. Again, I don't know how else to justify it except, this is a watch that I'm gonna enjoy. I really will enjoy. And yeah, I just love it. And then let's see, moving on. Another list of Shut Up and Take My Money. Wow, we have a lot of Shut Up and Take My Money watches this year. This is the JLC Reverso chronograph. I've always been a fan of JLC Reversos in general, JLCs in general. And this piece right here, so the JLC Reverso Tourbillon comes in at a ridiculous $139,000. Compared to that, I guess, it is a lot much more affordable. The steel version starts at a little over $21,000, with the Pinkel version of this going, from $37,000 and onwards. If I could afford it, I would just, really just take out my wallet and just be like, hey, shut up and take my money. I love it. I'm still gonna put it into that, piece that just, made me just, breathless. This release, or should I call it a re-release, from Tudor. This is the Black Bay 41 GMT, which now comes with the wide dial. Why am I putting this into the Could Add collection? Well, two reasons. One, the thickness is, for me at least personally, somewhat, thick compared to the other, I guess, like Black Bay watch models, in the lineup. And then two, you remember how when the Black one came out and it was ever so popular a couple of years ago, some of the people that purchased the Black Bay 41 black dial version, they did, complain about some movement issues, and this was actually acknowledged by Tudor. It has been stated that, this is now fixed. Just knowing that has happened before, and knowing that this is just an updated release, with an update to the dial itself, I don't know, just for me, like, that's still something that's in my mind. I'm 95% positive that, that movement issue has been taken care of. But with that being said, knowing how that release went down for me, again, beautiful dial and everything, but just something that I'm not like, ing over about. And then there's another piece that I definitely wanted to add into the collection of the Could Add collection. And that was actually from Grand Seiko this year, their Tentograph release. This is the first chronograph release from Grand Seiko. Very unique piece in that sense. The only drawback here is that this comes in a little large at 43 millimeters, but the design is just so attractive. I'm definitely gonna put this into the Could Add to collection category, knowing that this is also a very unique piece coming from Grand Seiko as their first chronograph piece ever. Now, you guys know I'm wearing my Panerai today, so I can't leave that out of the mix here. I love my Panerais. This release right here, the Panerai, Radiomar Otto Giorni, coming in at $9,700. Yeah, this definitely goes into the I got cash to burn category. Unique case, definitely very unique in terms of the design. What more can I say? I mean, beautiful in terms of the full patina that this watch has. I love the dial. It's just very difficult to justify the cost being this high. Also with the amount of trouble that, Panerai has been having over, these past couple of years, with the issues with the, I guess the fake ones, and also along with, the brand receiving a lot of, I guess, like flag for being not, innovative enough in terms of the directions moving away. I don't know. All that said, to me, Panerai is a great watch. A Panerai is a Panerai. And this is just something that really caught my attention. But again, it's very difficult for me to just, fork out the money and saying, hey, I'll take this. And let's see. We have some additional pieces that I definitely want to discuss. The 42 Yacht Master coming in at titanium. I think this is a very unique watch in that instead of going for a titanium and a Submariner, they decided to go with a very Submariner-ish kind of a watch, from the lineup. Coming in at a bigger size at 42, but with a titanium, it's going to be very comfortable and light, and it's going to be an easy wear. I think it'll be a great daily wear. Anyone that, is lucky enough to get their hands onto this, with access to this model, definitely add it to the collection. You're going to get a lot of wristwatch out of this one. And you're going to get a lot of enjoyment without a doubt. Again, 42 is large, but it's not going to be in that uncomfortable range. And you know what? I'm actually going to add both of these pieces together at the same time. The Platinum Daytona and then this Jigsaw Puzzle Day-Date piece. Am I going to be able to afford these pieces? No, definitely not. Do I have cash to burn on these? I don't. If you can get it, get it. But again, these are very unique pieces, and I'm not saying they're terrible pieces. But yeah, I'm adding them into the I got cash to burn just because that it's very unlikely you're going to be able to get these pieces from AD. And more so, I guess these are pieces that you're going to have to get, from the gray market. And the cost is just going to be extravagant. So yeah, with that being said, I'm definitely going to add these guys into the mix of the I got cash to burn. That's it for today. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please remember to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll continue to create more contents and keep them coming your way. And I'll see you guys on the next one. All right, thanks. Bye.